Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Massive Beer Review Classics. We love doing those. Old beer. Dusty old beer. We love it even more. The two-fecta, the double-fecta? Double-fecta, right? What do they call that? Parlay? I don't know. Anyway, the Dolle. Their Oerbier. This is a Belgian Strong Dark. It's been a while since I've had this beer, but I've reviewed it before. So it does qualify for Massive Beer Review Classics. Even if I didn't review it, it would still be a classic beer. The Dolle, one of my favorite breweries in sentence. And it's something I've reviewed before. I reviewed this actually during the kind of initial stages of my channel. I want to say it was maybe in the 200s range. We're in 4,000 beer reviews now. And it was, I believe I reviewed it maybe in 2015, and it was a 2010 bottle. We're reviewing this beer in 2024, and it's a 2015 bottle. So it's the beer that was bottled when I reviewed that beer, but we're tacking on 4 years to it, so we have a little bit more time going on. Curious to see where this sucker lands. I picked this off the shelf. Where did I pick this up again? New Jersey. Not far away from where I live. They actually had this. They had their... Oh man, they had 3 different Dolles, and I just decided to pick this one just because I just felt like a Belgian dark. But yeah, anyway, what do we have going on here? On the top, I'll show you the cap when I pour it because I don't want to just turn it on its side. Let's see, they got the Americanized kind of thing up here talking about recycling redemptions. Brewed and bottled by the Dolle Brewers, 9% alcohol by volume, store cool, product of Belgium, Oerbier. That's it. That's all you get on this. Yeah, so we're just going to crack it. Crack on. Give it a whiff and crack on. That's what we're going to do. That was a really nice hiss. I'm not going to lie to you, so I'm kind of excited about this sucker. Give it a good, meaningful pour on this, even though I don't think you need to because that hiss showed you. Oh, look at that, man. With that kind of time on it, man, this thing... This is definitely its age. You're going to probably have a hard time seeing that, but that says one that was bottled on, which is 2015. And, in case you had any trepidations on it being old, look at that Merc. How stained that bottle is, and that kind of hyper-aggressive kind of what I have coined as the Merc ring. Yeah, so you definitely have something of oldness. Label, it's fantastic. I mean, Belgian beers are just my favorite labels, period, you know, end sentence. And this is no different. It's got this little, you know, the little Oerbier guy with the little kind of mash paddle kind of thing going on. This is very Belgian in looks, so yeah, we're definitely off to a good start. As far as the beer goes, I remember that I thought this beer was more quad than dark, and honestly, it does look more quad than Belgian dark for me. Kind of splitting hairs when it comes to coloration, especially from what y'all see on camera, but it has this kind of murky haziness to it that you're just not going to get on camera because of the darkness of the beer. In combination, the way that head kind of comes off, and just, it has a rich dark brownness to me that's a lot more quaddy as vibes, as opposed to just a little bit darker, kind of leans into Belgian Strong Dark. But we're splitting hairs here. It definitely looks the part of a nice rich dark malt beer, let's put it that way. Give that swirl, that head comes back, man. I think we got a super winner on our hands, hopefully. Let's get a nose. That smells fantastic. Super date, figgy, plummy. Very much pruny, plummy. So we're definitely getting in that kind of raisinette-y, raisin to raisinette, or grape to raisinette, or plum to prune to pluminette. Do they actually make raisinette versions of plums? I don't know. Or prunes, pruny nuts. So you're getting that kind of rich, dark fruitiness, but with that age, with it, with the time that comes with it, outside of that typical dark fruit that you get from a Belgian Strong Dark / quad, you're going to get these kind of rich, kind of datey, figgy, toffee-like kind of flavors that develop over the years. They get richer and richer and richer and err towards that chocolate-covered raisin / pruniness, which is what you're getting here in spades. There's almost a little port sherry thing going on here too. Again, I think that's a little bit kind of Venn diagram adjacent chew plums for me, because, you know, port wines and plums, there's something about it for me. I know nothing about wine, but there is a similarity in my brain to that, and you're definitely getting that here. You're getting that nice breadiness that you come to expect from a nice Belgian dark. Oh man, it's rich, it's decadent, it's very much desserty without being pastry. Adult desserty, European desserty, those kind of things. Man, it smells like this is aged absolutely fantastically. I kind of said, mentioned it when I was talking about this beer to a couple people. I was like, man, I should get a freshie and do a side-by-side, freshie side-by-side, but I couldn't help myself. I had to crack it. But the fun part is I know where I can get the same ones. There's a rack of them. So I can go back and get that if I want to do a side-by-side. Anyway, aromatically, we're off to, visually and aromatically, we're off to a stellar start. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. That's good. The carbonation and mouthfeel on this is like almost like criminal for it being almost 10 years old. Yeah, this is, you know, bottled in May of 2015. We're in July of 2024, so we're over 9 years old at this point, and really has just beautifully stay carved. There's oxidation here, not in a negative sense. I wouldn't say in a negative sense, but you definitely get some oxidation here. But I think it kind of lends itself to something a little bit fun. Tempers a bit of that sweetness. You know, didn't really kind of beat down this mouthfeel at all in any form or fashion. And then when you get to the flavorful portion of the show, the fruit portion of the show, which this thing is, it's kind of like more like a rich, decadent, new school kind of fruit cake. Because you're getting, by new school, I mean amplified in flavor is what I mean by that. Not necessarily like a new kind of variant of fruitcake. It's just that for me, kind of like fruitcakes kind of sucked for a long time, and then I think with culinary refinement, I can actually get down with fruitcake now. But a lot of those flavors that even when I wasn't like the biggest fan of fruitcake, I could still associate with a beer and still keep it in mind in a good place. This is just stellar stuff. This is like you go to like that macular gastronomy place that just does molecular gastronomy, sorry, that does like old school stuff, new school cookie, to bring out more flavors. Essentially, that's what you're getting here. So you get a really nice mouthfeel, lush, full. You get a touch oxidation, not in a negative way, and then you just run into this kind of gamut of fruitiness. Again, the dates and the figs and the prunes really do come to mind on this. Very much port lake on this. Very much pruny like that on this. Soft little raisin portion of the show here. Very much dark raisin, not really chocolatey sweet raisin, so it's not necessarily all the way to that raisin-y level of the show that this might age to in another couple years. And just ends up being just like creepily drinkable. I mean, we're talking about something that is what, 9%. You couldn't even drink this blind. I think I'd guess it would be 9% based off the flavor profile, but you're not getting any hints of heat or any hints of anything over the top kind of aggressive when it comes to this beer. It's really good. It's like really, 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 really good, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Finding old dusty Belgians like this is just kind of like part and parcel with me just digging on beer. That's what I got into. This is the beers that I got into when I originally got into beer, and this beer's no different. At least bring back the memories of what those beer were when I first got into it. And very, very great. Very well kept. This has been sitting, I know this has been sitting on the same shelf for 10 years. Or close to 10 years. My aunt's back. You know, that's going to mean anything to you, but I did 3 reviews tonight. In the middle one, I went on this diatribe of this little dude down here trying to steal my beer, and he's back, and I put him way over there. Anyway, so yeah, yeah, the Dolle Oerbier, 9+ years old. Is this one of the better Belgian darks, Belgian quads I've had as late? It defaults to that because it's not like I rip those. It's one of the better ones I've ever had. Yes, I don't think it Mount Rushmore status itself if I open up that wide of a test base. But it's definitely damn tasty and something I would have zero issues buying again. I think when I say I paid, I should know what I paid for this actually, because the cashier kind of like looked at me like, "Are you serious? Do you want to buy this?" Not that it was expensive. It's just I bought a sixer of Miller High Life with it, and I think it cost almost, the sixer was like $6.99, and this beer was like $6. The guy's like, "This is $6. You know that, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You want to buy it?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I know it looks weird that I'm buying a 6-pack of beer that costs the same thing as this one thing, but I know what I'm doing." He's like, "Oh, okay." So I want to say paid $6 for it, which I think is a steal. And just saying, man, tasty beer, off the shelf, 9.5 years old. If you want to know where to find it, let me know. I'll let you know exactly where the place is. Done and done. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Dolle, have you been to the brewery? Have you had their beers? What's your favorite beer from Dolle? That's one. I think it's I think they do just Dolle. It's probably Stilly Knocked, to be honest with you, with a ton of time on it. But there's so many good ones. Anyway, you tell me what your favorite is down there, and let me know if you've had this beer. If you've had this beer, fresh, old, this vintage, any of that fun stuff, let's talk about it down there. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of a old beer right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers, all.